I thought you were actually talking about somebody else, I didn't know you were talking about me. Okay, sorry for the delay, okay, because it's a bit confusing coming here. Now, before we start, how many of you all here are non-Muslims? One of them, okay, not so bad lah. How many of you all don't understand Malay? Although I'm a mama, but just want to be sure that anyone who doesn't understand Malay at all? Okay, senang kerja then. Okay. Alright, today's title was quite nice when they put that from darkness to light. I didn't know what they meant by that. Is it because I am dark? Dan sekarang nak masuk Islam dia ada nur ke apa? I don't know. But I never take my risk, so I wear a white shirt so that at least lah. Tadi dah taruh sikit powder juga. So lah, insyaAllah. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, the organizers have given me 1 hour. I'll try my best. Okay, how many of you all actually heard my story before? I mean, heard me talking before? Satu aja, dua. Okay, so you got to keep, be patient with my boring stories lah. So you got to. Anyway, I will try to sum up as fast as I can within the 1 hour. Because Ani was telling me you're just going to say the same story again, but it wasn't the case. Allah never gave me the room to do that. It's been like every day has been a challenge after challenge and after challenge. Okay, now as you know, my name is Imran Guna. So obviously I'm an Indian. Okay, typical mama who started his life at the age of 5, and I come from a very staunch family where religion and tradition was a key for them. Okay, without that, nothing moves. So as young as 5 years old, my mother used to wake me up as early as 4:30. 5 years old for me, I sleep also dark, wake up also dark. Of course, when it comes to my mom, I always try to hege with her, cry and all these things lah. But with my dad, it doesn't work. He'll come there, he'll give me a hit on the head and say, "Get up." Get up, never mind. Must go and bathe, cold water. Then wear the dhoti, which is like a blanket. Goes around and around and around, and then you come and sit down. Then you start to pray, oh, like that. Okay, halfway I'll be sleeping. But my father is always there, like macam RSM, give me one hit on the head, and they say, better concentrate. The funny thing was, my father was a non-believer. He never believed in the religion, but he'll tell me, better focus what your mother doing, you better focus. That to me is like, you're not a believer, but I have to follow you. I say, never mind. Oh, thank you. And, it was like you were forced to do things. And my family, our prayer altar is like those 3D dimension area. Everywhere you see, people got the kind of thing like want to kill you like that. Luckily, I was telling my friend, luckily they never discover M16, law all during that time. If not, Summa would be carrying that. So if you were to, talk back, or you see you don't want to do it, what they will tell you is, later the God will poke your eyes. Indians like to say that, anything only poke the eyes, never poke anywhere else, only the eyes. So I grew up like that, until the age of 12, then I start to have a bit of mustache, so like, man, so I start to, against my mother, I said, I don't want to pray, I cannot wake up. So my father had a heart attack one day. So at that age, I felt, okay lah, bago juga, so that I won't have to, be forced to do my prayers. So one fine day, he had his heart attack, and then the doctor said his heart has stopped. So I was thinking, okay, best now only I got one to worry. Young age, we tend to think like that. But Alhamdulillah, he came back. He came back. Somehow they revived him, and he came back. And then one fine day, there was a period that I didn't need to wake up in the morning because my mom was stressed, my father was sick, and all. Suddenly one fine day, this big figure woke up and came and started to wake me up. I said, it doesn't look like my mom. And I said, it looks like my father. Okay lah, normal, he would wake me up. When I woke up, I saw my mother sleeping. So I said, something is wrong. My mom is the one who always do the prayers. How come my mother is sleeping? Suddenly I see my father with all the ash, everything sitting down to pray. He suddenly got the kind of enlightenment. Mampus saya. Nothing worse. Pray with him, sit with him, cannot move, cannot do this, So it was clearly a faith driven by fear. That's how my life began. Anything you do, your eyes will be poked. Or you vomit blood. You talk bad about dog, the next day you're vomiting blood. And like Indian movies, you got to see all the Indian, what do you call that, God movies. It's like that one. Macam-macam they will have. You know, you talk like that, then they'll throw the lime at you, then you become like toad or whatever. Like. I never took my chances. So as I was growing, my father got too involved in it and he became a president of one Hindu organization. And what he did was, as I being the eldest son, he dragged me inside. Said, you must follow me. So at the age of 14, 15, instead of sitting in the bus stop, whistling at girl, cuci mata, I ingat pula go inside the religious thing and talk about religious thing. And as I was growing, when I was like 16, 17, I came very involved. Okay, so my father and some of them got together and said, why don't you do some research on Hinduism and talk to youth, okay, of their days about Hinduism. So I studied and I started to, find a lot of facts to a point that I thought, that Hinduism is the only way. And we're talking about history way back, the time of Persians and all. So I was very adamant. And it was very easy for me to flick off Buddhism or even Christianity for that matter, because it was quite easy. I could always say, Hindu gods, there's only one God, but his powers are manifested. And I always relay in such a way that, oh, look at me, I am son to my mother, I'm a friend to another fella, I'm a brother to my sister, and so on and so forth, but I'm still the same person, so that concept. So as I grew older and older, I went to army, I came out from army, then I started working. So I was employed in this company where there were 16 to 17 Muslims. Out of 16, 17, only one guy. The rest all ladies, and all of them wear tudung. So dulu, what I used to do is when I see women in tudung, I always think they are like Jaws. And when they say Astaghfirullahalazim, I will always relay it to how Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say, Astaghfirullah baby, right? So my friends all say, why you always disturb? I say, kenapa they wear like that? They are already beautiful, why they won't cover up? Lagi you cannot see. And young days Indian men, Indian boys, always like to go around with Malay girls. It's always a trend last time. So, it was like that, kind of, trying to keep away from Muslims. And I had this personal grudge against them in a way that, I always thought they are troublemakers. So imagine I am a supervisor working with 16 Muslims and only got 2 or 3 Indians. And they always call me, hey mama, they will call me like that. Of course they won't call me colleague because they are scared. But they call me mama, So it was very tense. And I was getting very adamant about my religion. I started to take Taipusam, I put tangki, this stick, through my tongue and across my mouth. And you see, the funny thing is, after I take it out, right, they will put the ash and cover, it's closed already. So it is like, a miracle. And I was the only Singaporean guy who actually carried 25 liters of milk over my shoulder. Indians are nowadays, when they carry the kavadi, they call it, it's like 5-6 deck lah. They spend $1,000 dollars. Tapi dia punya susu sikit aja, macam ni. But the idea, what was the idea of Taipusam is used to bring as much as milk over to the god. That's the idea. So I understood that 25 liters. I was the only one in Singapore. And my tangki was this long. And it was across, like that. That means like a star like that. It covers your face and then they poke all the way until here. And for me it was like shock. Like your feeling is like great, like the pain. Of course pain but depan, you got to relax like them. Because it was more of that kind of, self-belief that, my religion is the best religion. Everything else is secondary. Because that is how they portray. Even until today, Hinduism is like that. They always pray, we are the first. Okay? And of course, after that, one day what happened was, I was sleeping and I had an enlightenment. I saw some Hindu figures. They told me to go to some places. So I woke up, I told my father. So my father said, go and ask some guru. In our context in Islam, it's known as ustads or imams or whatever. So the guy told me, you go to India for a pilgrimage. I said, go where? Go India. I said, okay. Where pilgrimage? I said, how many days? 42 days. You got to fast. So I was thinking, okay, not so bad. Let's try it out. Since I believe this religion is so good, why not? So what happens is this pilgrimage is similar to Hajj. Here, Hajj, we wear white, they wear black. Okay, but Hajj, women can go, children can go, men can go. In this pilgrimage, only men allowed. And you got to fast for 42 days. Similar to how we all fast. Nothing to eat. So I was very big size, 112 kilo. I thought, okay, not so bad. If I try. So I did it for 7 years. Okay, on the 7th year, of course the first few years is just curiosity because you're all alone. Your parents not around, all men. sleep together, eat together. You know how Indian men can smell sometimes, right? All the same smell. Wake up 4:30, which is very normal for me. We will go and bathe in the river, the same river that they do business. The same water they drink some more. Just go there, correct? But it was thrilling because we have to travel 7 mountains. Walk, 42 to 50 kilometers walk, day and night. And we will encounter lions. You can see it's like a zoo. We ever came across a tiger who came close to our car, scratched our car and went off. I was frightened, I thought dead finished. But this is how the prayers was. And they will do your last rites. Just in case if you die, we have already done everything. That's how they do. So it's very similar in context. So on the 7th year, I was so-called a senior already. So I upgraded, so I was senior. So they asked me to go on a particular date. They said, this day, God will come. I said, God will come. Yeah, God will come. We will always believe that God you cannot see. You only see Him through figures and idols. But they said, no, on January 15, until today, January 15, on a particular mountain, hilltop, God will come. Baba Gali, Tiga Gali. How will He come? Like a light. So I said, interesting, I said, okay, January. So I took leave, I went. I wanted to see. So we all went. On the way, we came across this masjid. So I just bypassed the masjid. I was trying to go into the temple. The guy stopped me and said, no, you have to pay respect to the masjid first. I said, what for? He said, this masjid is, the guy name is Babar. This guy helped God during a battle. I said, what are you talking? Why do God need a man's help? He says, no, this is a friend of the God. So you don't pay respect to him, you cannot get prayers inside. So I said, okay, how do I pay respect? You just come here, bow, they will give you 1 salt and pepper. 1 piece of salt and 1 piece of pepper. I said, what is this? So I took it. I had my doubts already, something is wrong. Because I always believe what? Hinduism is only, where did, Muslim masjid all come into the picture? What is this salt and pepper about? So I went up, I was a bit in doubt. Once I went up, we all were waiting. It was 6:55 p.m. Everybody was standing to see the God. So I say everybody same, all got long beard. Those a bit old grey. Young like me, okay, a bit black here and there. So everybody looking at one direction. So I say, you're looking for what? Say, God is coming. I say, He told you He's coming. Say, yeah. You see that particular